What?
All right. Shalom Chevra, whoever is watching this is...
Rachamim.
Shkoyach. Okay, anyone watching this, we love you. If you're watching Shiurim, my Shiurim, you're amazing. I'll be a Melitz Yosher for you when I get up there. I'll probably be way ahead of all you guys. And,
You're only
what?
10 years older than us.
Yeah, but it's highway miles. It's city miles, not highway miles. That's all city miles. Yitzchak Ben Malka, if you want to have your hand in extending the warranty. Get me an extending Yitzchak Ben Malka. Well, not chaylim, but preventative medicine. What? Okay, let's do so let's do this. So I don't know how far we went last week. I gave a few shiurim last week. I don't know how far we got it. Did we go through the Makkas?
No.
The program of the Makkas? What I showed you? Okay, good. So let's the Makkas are very. I didn't tell you the story. No, I did. We started it. We did the guy. I told you about the guy, the bacher who stopped dating.
Yeah.
That was part of that's Makkas. That wasn't some philosophy. That was psychology. Then how do you get someone who's in denial, out of denial? A 10-step program. We didn't do all 10 steps. How do you get someone? Why did I tell you a story with that older bacher?
Tell me when to start dating. I don't know.
Okay, let's do. There's a lot of stuff to do. What I wanted to show also is, so I'll just recap.
We'll do Kav after.
I'm gonna stick it up. We'll figure it. Everything's related. It's all like one sugya. We have time, so I'll just recap. I might have said this already, but you have to say this a lot because this is the root. Everything about Mitzrayim starts with till you own it. Like Klor is the Ar. The Ar is Mitzrayim. It's the God of Egypt. Everything is the Ar. How do we explain the Ar? Everybody owns it already. By now you have it. I said it already a few times for you guys. That the Torah defines Eretz Yisrael as Eretz Zovas Chol Uvash. Everyone knows that, and it also says then a trippier thing. It says that it's loik. This is the definition of Israel. Loik Eretz Mitzrayim hi asher yotzasa misham. It's not like the land of Egypt that you just left. Asher shkisa b'ragolcha gan hayerek. This is all new. I never said this. That you water it by foot, like a garden. In Eretz Yisrael, it's a land of Horim, Uvika, Uvakayas, mountains and valleys, and you need Tara Shema, you need rain. Your eyes are to Hashem Alikecha, that Hashem has to give you rain. That's the Hamdorah of what Eretz Yisrael is. It is not like Mitzrayim, that you water like a garden. Here you need rain. What does that mean in English? Mitzrayim has a Nile, and everyone plants around in the Nile Valley, and then you dig ditches, irrigation channels from the Nile to your field, and when the water rises, it fills the channel and irrigates your whole field, and everything is amazing, right? That's how Mitzrayim does it. And the Torah is saying Eretz Yisrael doesn't have a Nile. What do you have to do by us? You got to pray for rain. So the point is that it's very, very hard to be a farmer. Farming is. Because I don't mean the work of farming, that's also very hard, but much harder than the labor of farming is the vulnerability of farming. The idea that you can put work an entire year into a project and you don't control all the variables. You never know what will happen. It might never rain. If it doesn't rain, then you just wasted your whole year. Most people can't live like that. You can't invest your koiches in something that you don't know what will happen. People wait to make sure that it's guaranteed, it's secured, and then I'll invest myself. We only invest in what's guaranteed, but to work for things that I don't control all the variables. It's too risky. It's too vulnerable. It's risky in a existential way, like in a psychological way, risky. Right? You get it? Right? That's why farming in the Torah is called. Chazal call it. The pasuk of Emunah, Sitecha, Chosin, Yeshua is whatever. There's 6 expressions for each seder of Mishnayos. The expression that applies to Zroyim, brachas and Zroyim, is Emunah Sitecha. Zroyim farming is called Emunah. The trade of a farmer is a maimon, to be able to work like that. Most people can't do that. So what most people do is they only invest themselves in things when everything is guaranteed. And that's called planting around the Nile. Most people only plant around the Nile. They only live their life, they'll only say yes to a shidduch if they know the girl already, that's coming from the girl. You know guys like that? Right? Because why? Because they won't be able to survive if they say yes and she says no. So I'll say yes, first find out if she's interested, and then I'll give my answer. Right? That's a cowardly way to live. That's called planting around the Nile. Everyone's getting very lot of blank looks like they're almost tired. Need coffee? Okay? Because you get very, very heavy, very, very fast over here. Okay? So that's called planting around the Nile.
No risk.
Okay? No risk. Safety. Okay? So now, the program of the Makkos is what? So let's say, there's one more step. Let's say you're that guy. You don't have the capacity, you don't have the ability to make those kind of risks, to deal with that kind of pain, to open yourself up to that kind of rejection. Let's say you're that guy. So now what do? When you plant around the Nile, your dreams don't go away. You still wanted to do all those things, but I can't try it because it's too risky, so I'm only going to stick in this little thing. But what about all your thoughts about the other things? So how do you do that in real life? What do you do when you're planting around the Nile? What do you do to your real ritzonos? Or I call it, maybe put it in the full perspective. I call, like, everybody has a promised land. What's your promised land? Your promised land is the life that was meant for you. When Hashem created you, He created you with a life that was meant for you. And that's what your dreams are. Your dreams are to be who you were meant to be large, to occupy the place in the world that Hashem allowed you, planned for you. But now you're scared to go there. So you're living in a subset of that, of your prom. You're not going to your promised land. You're living somewhere else because it's safer. It's too risky to invest in, to try and journey to your promised land. You have to go through deserts and all this stuff and fight wars. And there's so many reasons to be scared to go to your promised land. We'd rather go back to Egypt. In Egypt, we plant around the Ar and we're safe. The problem is that there's an extra step that you have to do. What do you have to do when your whole life, when you were young, you thought about a promised land? And now I'm scared to go there. So there's one extra step. Psychologically, what do? What do you have to do? What's the skill set you have to deal with that dichotomy?
Forget it or be cynical about it.
Okay. That wasn't the word. You're on track. You're the right thing. So why I'm going to say something different. You can't forget it. You can't really forget it. Cynical about it. It's interesting. Why isn't that a good answer? I think cynical about it is just for everybody else. When you're home alone, you can't make jokes to yourself about things that you know the truth, right? All those things you can't really forget about it. Well, the truth is it's not true. A man can forget about it. You can't forget about it, but you can distract yourself. I never discussed this. Let me tell you something very deep. Like there's a phenomenon, men become addicts. You can be addicted to an Xbox, you can get addicted to, I don't mean drugs, anything. You can become addicted to anything. It's very rare that women get addicted to Xboxes or those kind of things. But there are things that women do psychologically that men don't do. Again, anything exists by everybody, but you don't have men who cut themselves like women, like girls do. You know, those kind of phenomena. I'll explain why. It's very, very deep. See, the reason why you become an addict, again, I don't know psychologically what their terminology is. So I'm not here to say the DSM's definition of addiction. That's not my definition of addiction. My definition of an addict, when I look at someone and I say this guy crossed the threshold, it's an addict. An addict is anyone who's doing what he's doing, not because he wants to do that, but because he's running away from something else. Are you doing this because you want to do it, or you're doing it as a distraction, as an escape from something else? That's the unhealthy thing. You call it whatever you want, but that's what I refer to.
Makes you an addict, or that's just an unhealthy thing?
No, that's an addict, because you could take away that thing.
But it's the first time doing it. You're not an addict. That's wrong.
Yeah, so I don't mean, no, because I could take away that thing, you'll do something else. It's not about the thing.
I get it, but I'm saying, so his first time doing it, he's an addict?
Yeah.
He can't handle the office he goes to.
Once you've tasted escape, once you've escaped, It's always a possibility. You cross that line. It's always an option. When you've never escaped and you're real, that's the healthiest place to be. Once you cross that line and you've hit already, so it's always going to be appealing. It'll always nag at you.
When you say once you've escaped me, once you've copped out and taken the easier route?
No, copped out, taking the we all do. Once
But
you've avoided thinking about the dream, the real route. You've gone.
The real
That's something. This point I'm making. The extra step. Everybody cops out, and then you're sad, or you're ashamed, or you're frustrated, or you're wondering if it's still achievable. The response to your promised land. Once I pitched my tent somewhere that's not where I wanted to be, and I'm not going through a desert to my promised land. So everyone does that at times. Sometimes we're just slower than we wanted to be. Sometimes we're taking a break. But when you cross the other line and you need to silence your dreams, that kind of thing. That's where that behavior. Yeah, there's different degrees of investment, and it becomes herigel. But there's something that changes once you've been somewhere, once you've done it. You're not. Again, if you want to use, that's why I gave the hakdam about the word addiction. You can maybe you just need to make up extra names and extra words. But if there's only one word, that's the threshold. The threshold is when you're doing this because you're trying to escape your thoughts. Now, for a man, we do that because it's very easy. All you need to not think about all your dreams is an Xbox. You play Xbox, and you could have dreamt of something for 30 years every day, and playing Xbox, it's all fine. A girl, that's why they don't get addicted to Xboxes, because it doesn't work for them. The voice of their dreams is so loud that they'll never be able to silence it with any kind of distraction. Their dreams are and the tsar doesn't go away. So what do you have to do if the tsar doesn't go away? What do they do?
Worse tsar.
What?
Worse tsar.
So things like that, like cutting. Can we analyze why someone would do that?
Control.
People say that all the time.
They get so used to
I don't get that. Like I don't. At some level,
They're in
maybe.
control of their own pain.
Oh, so what does that mean?
Yeah, I got the other.
So it's not a straight control thing. What it is, but it might be truth to just saying control anyway. But we'll come back to that. But what happens is that I'm having pain. I'm having this existential pain.
It's a control.
I'm going to explain to you because what it is I have pain. This emotional pain. This pain that my life is not what I want it to be, where it's supposed to be. So what I do is, it's hard. You can't live like that. And Xbox doesn't work. Nothing works. I tried all the things, and it doesn't work. So what I do now is, I create new pain. Why is the new pain superior to the other pain? For two reasons. One is that it's pain that I control is easier to tolerate than pain that I don't control. It's not about the control. It's about pain that I control. Pain that's out of my control is much more debilitating. It's not just physical, emotionally. But when I know that I created it, I feel I can tolerate the pain more now because I can turn it off. So I replaced my pain with a new mask, and the new mask is more acceptable because I can turn it off when I want. I can deal with it when I can turn it off. So that's where it's control. There are other explanations of mamish that I feel like I'm in control. In my real life, I have no control, and in this, I have control. That's a whole different trip. But the simple thing is that I can run away from my pain by masking it. And the other explanation is very similar, and they work together, is that I create this cutting, and this new pain is better for another reason also, is that this is physical pain, the other one's emotional pain. It's much easier to tolerate physical pain than emotional pain. So that's what cutting does, both of those things. I now am dealing with this emotional pain, and I control it. So my real pain is, I don't even think about it. And on the other hand, when I said that I don't like the control, I don't have a problem with the control thing. It's probably true on a lot of levels. Why is that like the first answer everybody says? This answer I'm saying is the most obvious. It's a simple answer. There are deeper trips that somebody can feel like in my life I have no control. Everything's out of my control. this is a world where but that's more. I just feel like it resonates better for eating disorders than for cutting. Eating disorders is a control. It's a gvura. I feel, I'm ordering my life. Masha'igin cutting, it's harder to hear that. You know what I mean? That makes sense?
How do we differentiate between standard hobby or passion?
Standard
hobbies or passions versus these
escapes?
Yeah, or there are no hobbies or passions.
No.
Meaning on a high enough level, there's nothing. Meaning,
Again,
in theory,
so good. So
the perfect person would only be pursuing their
you're good.
their promised land, which is probably not out on an island somewhere.
But I'll tell you, it's a fair point, and that really goes to our share on don't eat the rice, right? That if you're eating rice, it means you're not a big enough Baal Taiva.
Which, once we're discussing that, the whole Kriya Shema is the Torah of Kriya Shema doesn't make sense according to that whole bar of don't eat the rice.
Why?
Because assuming that the reason that there's less essays is because the Rebbe just wants us to just have the best that there is, why would he punish us by ruining our fields for having rice? Having rice in itself is a punishment. It's like, listen, I made a massive party, you guys got stuck at the appetizer, you got stuck outside the door, okay, whatever, why would I punish you for that? Assuming it's true,
So good. So this is...
These are all separate truths.
Notice a huge share. Like normally, you're making a good point because it doesn't fit with my standard. Like my standard response to all punishment.
I want to believe that.
Let me tell you,
I really do.
my standard response to all punishment is generally, before your kasha, is that Hashem doesn't punish you. The punishment is that when you're not a big enough Baal Taiva, so you live life lackadaisical, you're not driven enough, and everything you invest in falls apart. Because the world is designed for investment. And when you can't be a farmer if you're a cop-out, because then everything's going to die, and you're not going to wake up in the morning and water when you have to. You're not going to harvest it in time, and it's going to get eaten by bugs.
What does that accomplish?
That's the punishment. When the Torah says this is going to happen,
according to the rights, there shouldn't be any punishments. There shouldn't be any.
No, the punishment is that you're eating rice. That's the punishment.
Exactly. So why is the Rebbe say that if you don't do this, then
what he's saying is if you are okay. So I want to say in Shema I have to give you an extra answer, but generally all einshim are what's the word? Ramifications is a better word. Consequences.
So we shouldn't even do anything. It should just have.
It is. That's what it is. It's not artificial. Read it again. Read everything Torah as this is what happens. Schar mitzvah, and avera.
Someone's B'chal Shabbos. So assuming according to the the rice in that story of B'chal Shabbos is he's missing out on the complete experience of Shabbos. He carried out the Tchum. He's missing out on the complete experience. That in and of itself should be the punishment. Why does he get Malchus now? Why does he have to bring a cart?
Okay, so no. So this is related to Shema also. So what we do is, if bottom line is, if you will go through life and be a chiller, so eventually you're going to realize after your third or fourth business that was an amazing idea that fizzled. After your third marriage, that maybe you weren't committed enough, maybe you were doing it too easy, maybe you weren't organized and remembered anniversaries, and you didn't take care of your clients in time, and you didn't do customer service. Eventually, everyone will wake up from consequences. But your life is over then. What's the point of getting healthy when you're 80 years old and your kids are already druggies? The Rebbeinu Shalom created a world that works, and you will come around, but it takes too long. So Hashem created a system where we know where you're going, and therefore we have wake-up calls to get you back on track before it happens organically. A lot of Einshim are like that. A lot of punishments, even from Hashem, even when it's not Bezdin. Like in Shema, it's not Bezdin. Malchus is a different question. But even Hashem's Malchus are often. Can I give you an example, a terrible example? A guy is, this guy who's checked out, okay? And he's married, he has kids. And it starts off, he tells his kid, I'm coming to your school play. Then he tells him, I'm coming to your Chumash party. And I'm coming to your Little League game. He never shows up. And the kid always thinks his father's coming. Like, the song, Cats in the Cradle? No, guy never... What? Should we stop the share and play it? 2
Yeah,
minutes?
so,
2
yeah.
minutes? What?
I think keep it recorded and just sing it.
Yeah, it's very important.
You should leave the recording.
You have to just, you've never heard the
Which
Cats in the
song is
Cradle. It's Torah. It's
What
like,
song is it? It's like a Simon and Garfunkel?
it's Harry Chapin.
Hotel California is also Tyra.
That's a whole different share.
That's a different share, though. Yeah.
I never got what's so deep about Hotel California. It's just,
Okay, next year.
I was gonna say different mega
Yeah,
shares.
Rami could give that chair.
okay, listen carefully, okay?
It's his favorite song.
Chaver.
Granger knows that as a procurement coordinator and manufacturing plant, you can count on auto reordering to have
Why did Granger
This is their first
deserve
ad of the
to-
year.
Call 1-800-GRANGER, click
This year's been
Granger.com.
sponsored by who?
Granger.
Granger.
Their first ad.
the ones who get it done? That's why that one.
We get the lyrics on the big screen.
This is it.
A child arrived just the other day. He came to the world in the usual way, but there were planes to catch and bills to pay. He learned to walk while I was away, and he was talking for I knew it. And as he grew, he'd say, I'm gonna be like you, Dad. You know I'm gonna be like you. He'd say, I'm gonna be like you, Dad. You know I'm gonna be like you. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy, blue man. When you're coming home and you don't know when, we'll get together then. You know we'll have a good time then.
Takes longer than I remember.
It's like the 60s.
Could use a little speeding up.
You're on YouTube.
It was-
You speed it up.
Son turned 10 just the other day. He said, thanks for the ball, Dad. Come on, let's play. Can you teach me to throw? I said, not today. I got a lot to do. He said, that's okay. And then he walked away, but his smile never dimmed. Said,
Never
I'm
dimmed.
gonna be like him. Yeah, you know I'm gonna be like him. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man.
On YouTube? Double tap the side. Let's skip 10 seconds.
Respect.
You know we'll have a good time then. Well, he came from college just the other day. So much like a man, I just had to say, son, I'm proud of you. Can you sit for a while? He shook his head and he said with a smile, what I really like, Dad, is to borrow the car keys. See you later, can I have them, please? And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, son, I don't know when. But we'll get together then, Dad. You know we'll have a good time then.
Last stanza, I think.
I've long since retired, my son's moved away. I called him up just the other day. I said I'd like to see you if you don't mind. He said I'd love to, Dad, if I can find the time. You see, my new job's a hassle and the kids are the flu. But it's sure nice talking to you, Dad. It's been sure nice talking to you. And as I hung up the phone, it occurred to me he'd grown up just like me. My boy was just like me. The cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, son, I don't know when, but we'll get together then.
Yeah, good job.
Gonna have a good time then.
Wow.
So, you never heard these songs yet?
Good stuff.
What? Very
There's a
important.
whole. There's a different
What do you
version.
say?
A story. You have to think.
There's a sequel.
We'll have a musical chair.
It's amazing. Harry Chapin's it. What? Okay, so but the point is, you hear the
There's
song.
the Alec Benjamin song. That has the whole.
What?
The Alec Benjamin has the next level.
Yeah.
After the show, you can listen to it.
Okay. So, but this,
For the record, he won't listen to it. But
why not?
It's-
This, by the way, this This is a very
Well, even the
powerful
record is-
conclusion. This is
music.
Baruch Hashem. The guy had a big bracha that ended like this. But often when you check out of the kid, so eventually the kid,
Total failure.
what?
Total failure.
Yeah, and eventually the father wakes up when he gets called because he gets divorced and the kid is bullied in school and he has no money to do anything and gets in trouble and he gets in drugs and
How do we know that didn't happen?
and the
Couldn't
father,
find the
no,
story.
he had married with
Graduated
kids.
college.
Graduated college. He had kids and.
It's missing a lot of details.
Okay, but my case is the guy's on a gurney in a hospital with the thing barely moving. The father rushes to the hospital, and he sees his son there, and he says, "God, you save him. I'll turn my whole life around," and that happens. And the thing is, Hashem could say, like why? I'm a racham. Why do I have to wait till this kid is grown and broken and on drugs for the father to wake up? Why can't I just speed up all the conclusions and put this kid on a gurney when he's 6, let him get hit by a school bus, and let the father have that epiphany when he's 6 so he can change his life and give the kid. So this is where
You
there's
have to
a
go through the process.
this is a
How many quarters
so
can you
this,
cut?
this is God's, above our pay grade. This is one of God's jobs, is to calculate, when do I break with Mishpat and Din? Mishpat and Din, Elohim, Elohim is he built the world with cause and effect and ramifications, and I wake up when my son's on a gurney down the road and I finally wake up. I'm in denial. What's the trip of the father? The rabbis Rishayim and the Rebbe's this, and he curses the world, and his boss will fire them. Everyone's wrong. His whole life blames everybody for everything, and then in the end he wakes up when it's his kid. In Mishpat, Elohim is Teva. The world is designed to wake you up, but Hashem can sometimes interject Rachamim. You know what Rachamim does? Rachamim makes the kid get hit by a school bus. You understand why it's Rachamim? Or Rachamim. You understand? You understand why it's Rachmanus? You understand why it's Rachamim? You hear that? It's very big Chiddush. I'm just getting your kid getting hit by a school bus is Rachmanus. Do you understand why that's legitimate to say that?
So wake up call now.
Because Hashem is most.
It's a good var.
Most-
It doesn't apply in every case.
Most-
When
It doesn't
her father
apply in
slaps
every
you across
case.
the face for
What?
When her father slaps a 2-year-old for running across the street. 'cause
That's
it's not
different.
right by
That's
the car.
different.
Okay,
No.
Rachman again.
That's
Not
not a
by the
different-
car.
Right,
Eventually,
exactly.
by the car.
Beautiful, very good. So that's what most Rachmanis is Oinshim. Oinshim that are not organic. Normal Oinshim are organic, where you don't go to work, you get fired. Okay? You don't take care of your kids, they get in trouble. Rachmanis is where Hashem is giving you the Oinshim from 30 years down the road now so that you can get your life in order. He speeds up. It's preemptive Oinshim. It's not breaking din, because he's literally doing what was going to happen based on where you were. This is what was going to